let's talk about Hamilton.
Hi.
So you originated the roles of both James Madison and Hercules Mulligan, both off-Broadway and on Broadway in 2015. And now, as of July 3rd, you guys are officially streaming on Disney Plus, which is so exciting. So
Mhm.
for my first question, I want to talk about Hamilton obviously tells the story of how our country came to be. And at a time like now, when there's so much injustice and suffering within it, what do you hope that the viewers of your show will take from this message that you guys are showing? So what do you hope that the message of the show will inspire within people?
That is a great question. Right now, I hope in the play, basically, it starts when Hamilton realizes he hates what Seabury is saying, what the British is decreeing. He stands on a box and he says, "This is wrong. This isn't right. Everyone, pay attention. I think this is how the country should be, and I think we should do everything in our power to change it." And I think what's happening right now with the protesters who are in the street after watching George Floyd murdered for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, a lot of people are feeling that way. That's why you see lyrics from the show that are on the signs out on the streets. And the message I want people to take away from is speak up, do everything in your power to get the message across that this is not the America you believe in, and do everything in your power to change laws to create the America that will protect everyone and treat everyone truly equal. And that's the one message I hope people take away from the show is no matter what, you must speak, even if people call you obnoxious or annoying or tell you you're wrong or you're stupid. Like Hamilton, continue forward, continue speaking, continue outcrying, because you'll find people of like minds around you. When your voices come together, it can't be denied.
That was such a beautiful answer. Thank you. I think that we're at a time right now. I think that the world really needs Hamilton. So I think this is such a beautiful way to kind of celebrate it and to celebrate this what you guys have done. So Hamilton is obviously such a timeless performance, but I think that it really resonates a little bit extra nowadays, as we know. What was your reaction when you found out that Hamilton was going to be streaming?
I'm going to be getting paid earlier than expected. That was my reaction. I was like, nice, there is money on the way. This is all good things. I was excited and curious. I mean, like I was curious. I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
well, why now? Why now? And I think it was because of COVID. And then after George Floyd, I think the universe just kind of decreed it needs to happen now. I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like it was this otherworldly thing that kind of made it happen. But I was more or less excited just to see what happens. It's like, cool, enough crazy shit's happening. Let's throw this in the mix and see what happens. So,
A little extra.
filled with a lot of curiosity. I was very curious.
Yeah, I can imagine. So something that always fascinates me on Broadway, and especially fascinates me with you, is when people have the ability to play not one, but multiple roles in one show. And you do exactly that. Not only do you do exactly that, but you do exactly that so flawlessly in such a beautiful way. So what was it like to not only transform into one person, but two people every single night?
It was a lot of fun. Because I had two shows, and that's very exciting to me. And uh, my mind runs very fast sometimes. So for me to be that stimulated, it was almost absolutely perfect. And it gave me an opportunity to really work my muscle, my acting muscle, my craft. I really got to sharpen things because I had to shift gears again in the second act. I couldn't just stay in the same mindset for 3 hours. I actually had to retool, refocus, recalibrate everything. So it forced me to remain as focused as possible, more so than ever.
Yeah, and how was your process different for each character? How was your mindset different?
Um, uh, I don't know if my mindset is different per se. I guess it's more my energy is different.
Yeah.
Like when I think mindset, I think focus. Like the focus and everything, all of that
Yeah.
is just the same. But in terms of like where what I look at, kind of, yeah, how I process things is
Yeah.
different. I don't know how to articulate it. That's a good question because I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know how to answer that question. So it's a great question.
Thank you so much. So I think that so many viewers have a story about how Hamilton changed their lives in one way or another. How did it change your life as somebody who lived through it for every night for such a long period of time? How did it change you?
I mean, everything has changed, in my life, in terms of like job
Yeah.
opportunities, financially, exposure, and like all of that has just changed. And I think that the change I love the most is that more people, were able to recognize the hard work I was doing and then just recognize the hard work that people in theater do. And that is what I was very excited about. Afterwards, I started working on a show, Station 19, and it was
Yeah.
nice to go up to LA and say you're from theater, and the energy is different. Like the response to that is different now because people are really starting to understand the hard work that goes into it because of that show, because so many people saw it. So
They have that
that's a
respect.
change I like. Yeah, a lot. I
I
like
think
that
that,
change.
yeah. I think that when a lot of people think about theater, one of the first, modern theater, at least one of the first things they think about is Hamilton. So I think you're right with that. You get that respect there. You guys opened up a lot of doors for a lot of people, and I think that's so awesome. So which part of your Hamilton experience was the most memorable? Do you have any highlights?
Yeah, I mean, I do, but I always say I like the Sitzprobe. The Sitzprobe is my favorite in theater. The Sitzprobe is when the orchestra and the cast sing together for the first time. So while we're rehearsing things in plays, the orchestra is learning music, and before it all comes together, we all sit down and just sing through the music. And that's always a highlight for me for every show, but specifically this one because the music is such its own character, and the orchestrations and arrangements are so rich that it's beautiful to hear all of it, and then sing with all of that you're hearing. That's always a dream to me.
That's so beautiful. I love that. So after you guys opened in 2015, you started to rapidly gain popularity and you had so many people who were talking about you guys and just absolutely dying to see the show. How did it feel to have the show that you'd worked on before it even hit Broadway just become something so big and so massive that so many people just adored and were dying to see?
I mean, it felt good. But for me, like theater, you're only as good as your last performance. So the great thing about it is that your head really can never get too big. It's like,
Yeah.
man, I killed it Thursday, and then Sunday night your voice goes, and you're like, well,
There goes that.
cool. I got to keep warming up. I got to keep training. I got to come back on Tuesday and hit it again. So for all of us, and I think that's a testament to this cast, is we never really cared. We only thought about doing the show. We're like, yeah, that's cool. But like last night, I didn't hit it this way. So today, when we do it, can we make sure we're, like, and that's just what it was. It was every night we have to create the thing.
Yeah.
So we just put all our energy into that. We kind of blocked out all that other stuff.
Did you feel like there was an extra degree of pressure or was it all the same?
Oh no, the pressure we had, we just put on ourselves to be
Yeah.
good artists. That was for at least for me, and I think most of the cast. That was it. We only put the pressure to hold ourselves to our own standard of greatness.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes your show so beautiful and so unique. It's stunning. I love it. So what parts of the show are you most excited for viewers to see? Is there anything that kind of stands out to you?
I think I really want viewers to see it in its entirety. I really push and think everyone try not to pause and try not to rewind in an intermission, take like a small break. But I think just the sheer volume of it, I'm excited to see for people to experience that, to experience how nonstop it is from beginning to end.
Absolutely. So after Hamilton, you went on to play Pierre in Natasha Pierre in The Great Comet of 1812, and now you're in the Grey's Anatomy spinoff Station 19. You're so incredible in both of these. I've seen both of them. How did these experiences differ from your experience in Hamilton?
Well, I mean, it's like Hamilton is Hamilton, then there's everything else. So that's how they differ. It's like so unique. Like the Obamas didn't come to any of those things. So that's one way how it's different. I didn't meet like Dave Chappelle on either of those. That's also how it's different. So I didn't. That's basically how. Just the amount of attention, and the amount of just love and praise that we were given for the hard work we did. I think that's what sets it apart from anything else. Because as an artist, every artist can relate. You do something, and everyone has an opinion, and not all the time everyone unanimously is like, "We thank you for your work." It's like you did good work, but your show sucked. So it's just nice to have people say, "You did good work, and your show was great." I mean, I don't think anything can really compare to that.
Yeah, absolutely. What was it like having the Obamas see it and performing at the White House? What was that like? How special was that?
Well, given the times, it was remarkably special that that's when we went to the White House, that was who was inhabiting the White House when we went. What a gift. What an utter, true, unparalleled gift it was to be invited then. And because even for me, like I was like, yeah, the White House, but I went to see Obama. Like that's why I was excited to go to the
Yes.
White House, was to meet Barack Obama. And he was so kind, and Michelle, and they've always been so gracious and kind with us every time they met us. So it was surreal. It was surreal. I just tried to say, let me just focus on it and just be here and soak it all in. And you know, yeah, it was beautiful.
I can imagine. That just sounds, even the way you talk about it, you have such this passion when you talk about it. So beautiful to see. So, Originating a role is something that is so special. And now, like I said before, your performance is living on for generations. Do you have any advice for young and aspiring performers that are watching you?
Uh, yeah, rehearse, work on your craft, work when no one's looking, and that's what matters. You know, rehearsal is for you to present the work you've done. It shouldn't be where the work is done. It should be where work on top of the work you've done before. And that's the only thing that you can rely on. You know, people will always be able to sing better, or someone's just naturally more flexible, like a dancer. That the girl was just born with open hips. Like, you know, you can't compete with that. But what you can always do is work as hard as you can. Like, she was born that way, but you can work your hips to the point where that open. You know, that guy, he was born, he can sing a high C, but you can work your vocal cords to get to that high C. So to anyone who's trying, I say put your focus on that and just work as hard as you can. Log in more hours and work diligently, and trust in that.
That's amazing. I love that. So in September, we're going to be seeing you in John Krasinski's A Quiet Place Part 2. Tell me a little bit about that experience working on that film.
It was a remarkable experience. You know, John has such a great energy he brings to set, and he's honestly genuinely excited about everything. He's just so excited to be there and happy and gracious and kind that it really sets the tone around. And he just works crazy hard, so it really sets the tone of the room. It's like, let's have fun, but also like work your ass off. So it was a
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
positive experience. We got a lot done in the few days I was there, and I got to see the film. It's beautiful. I was a big fan of the first film before I even knew about this second film or being attached to it. But it was a truly great experience with them.
My gosh, that's amazing. What's it like jumping from doing so much theater and then jumping to film and TV? How does that experience kind of differ? Obviously, it differs in a lot of ways, but what is it?
Well, my bank account is much happier. So that's one way how it differs. I can get guac when I go to Chipotle.
Perfect.
Um, how does it is, it's just different. Like for me, these are all new experiences, and every new experience, if your mind is right, is a new experience. You know, I mean, every experience is a new experience. It's like, yeah, I've been on a set, but I haven't been on set with these people, and they all have their own
Yeah,
stories. So it's good for me, you know, as long as they stay positive. So far, they've all
yeah,
been positive. So um, it's nice to exercise my muscle in a different way. It's nice to explore the art of acting, and the craftsmanship that goes into it in a completely different arena. And film is different from TV, and every project is based on whoever's at the head. So I just love seeing, it's like, how else can I mold, tackle, take apart, you know, put me in any situation, and let's see how I grow as an artist. So that's what's most exciting.
that's so beautiful. Absolutely. Like you were mentioning before about how every person you work with has a different story. I think it's always fascinating to me how every single person who sees this show has a different story about the way they saw it, when they saw it, how it changed their life. And obviously, you guys just have a multitude of these people. How does it feel when people tell you stories about how Hamilton's affected them and how your performance has affected them?
It feels really great because at the end of the day, we all want to change the world for the better.
Mhm.
I think I'd like to believe everyone does, even the people who disagree with you. Somewhere in their warped mind, hopefully, they feel like they're changing the world for the better. So it's just nice to have someone say, "Hey, you changed my life for the better." It's like, it's nice to
Yeah.
have someone say, you know, this thing that you worked on got me through my chemo treatments, or, you know, or it's like my father broke his back, and it helped him learn how to walk again, or whatever the case may be. That's the ultimate compliment to me, is to say, like, your art, the energy you put forth was not for naught. You know, it wasn't for anything. It affected us, and it helped us get past a hurdle. So it feels really great and fulfilling when I hear those stories.
And I feel like now that you guys are streaming, like I said before, this is just going to absolutely live on. Like I'm sure people are going to be watching this, children in the future are going to be watching this in history classes. And you're a father, right?
Yes, I am.
Your daughter. How do you feel about your daughter when she kind of views this? What do you hope that she'll kind of take away from it when she's like, "That's my dad"? Like,
Um, the same thing I hope everyone else does. I hope it gives her strength and power, and it motivates her to continue moving forward when everyone says maybe you should take a break, or I think that's a bad idea, or whatever, what have you. You know, I'm not going to be around forever. So hopefully this can be a source of strength for her to keep fighting for whatever it is that she needs to fight for.
absolutely, especially now.
Hmm.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me today, Oak. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
You're amazing. You're incredible. I loved seeing you. So I did not see the original Broadway cast, unfortunately, but seeing you up there was so amazing. You absolutely kill it. I'm so excited to see everything that you do. Thank you so much. You're incredible.
Thank you. Take
So
care.
much love. Bye, Oak. Thank you.